Wow, just wow. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be my thoughts and impressions regarding the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS, episode 70, Tuning Bullet. And this episode just had so much going on. To say this episode is a must-watch episode and a plot episode would be the understatement of the year, in my opinion. There was just so much going on in this episode, so much to talk about. So at risk of further rambling, let's talk about the actual episode. So the episode begins where we left off last week with the continuation of the Wendy versus Revolver duel. Wendy has 4,000 life points. Revolver has 300. He's down on one knee. Wendy tells Revolver, just admit that you lost, admit that you're defeated, and don't be ashamed of being defeated because the Ignis is a superior life form. And that's when Revolver drops the bombshell, because we hear about the coexistence thing, because we hear Wendy tell Revolver, before Revolver says what he's going to say, that we will coexist with humans. Humans will be under our control, of course. So basically, it's at this moment, everybody's under the realization that Lightning and Wendy, either humans are going to be under the Ignis's absolute control or they're going to be exterminated. There is not going to be any coexistence. And that's when Revolver finally speaks up and says, there will be no peace under you, especially after what happened to your partner. And that's when Revolver drops the bombshell that the Knights of Hanoi have tracked down everybody involved in the Lost incident except one. Wendy's partner. And we get basically, it's not confirmed, but we learned that Wendy took over an AI in an automobile and caused it to crash, and that automobile had his partner in it. So either his partner was killed or severely injured. It does echo what happened with Blood Shepherd and his mother. I've seen some people on theory boards already saying that, oh, well, that must mean that Blood Shepherd is Wendy's partner. I don't think so, but there is that. So it's not confirmed that Wendy's partner is dead and that Wendy killed him, but it's strongly implied. So under these pretenses here, everybody's under the assumption that Wendy killed his partner. Wendy's a murderer. And that's when Wendy admits it. He's like, yeah, I got rid of him because he stood in my way. I didn't need a human partner because a human partner would cause me to get attached to humans like I is with Playmaker. And Revolver is basically, at this point, he's infuriated again. He says that he will not let the Ignis get away with this. He will not let them have their way. And Revolver says he has no intention of being part of Wendy's plan, because Wendy's plan is for Revolver to surrender, Revolver be spared, and will be put in the corner. Well, Revolver ain't going to let that happen, and he begins what arguably could be said is the most impressive comeback in Yu-Gi-Oh history, probably since the Duel Monster days, but that is heavily up for debate. But for me, one of the best comebacks in Yu-Gi-Oh history, in my opinion. So since Revolver took damage, he's able to special summon this monster. It's called Speed Burst Dragon, and what it does, it has a very interesting effect. It allows him to take Borreload Dragon that was destroyed, deal Wendy its attack points in damage, and regain half of those points as life. So Wendy takes 3,000 points of damage, Revolver regains 1,500, Revolver's life points are back to 1,800, and then he uses Speed Burst Dragon, which is more powerful than Rockbuster, to destroy it. So Wendy is now down to the conditions for what's going to come up next. He's down to his last few hundred life points. And this is when Wendy begins psychological warfare on Revolver. He basically tells Revolver, you know, we were your father's prized creations. Your father didn't even love you. He didn't like you. He didn't think you were worthy. Otherwise, you would have an Ignis based on you. And basically, this goes back and forth for a while. It's psychological warfare from Wendy, and Revolver just shakes it off. He remembers back to what his father said about carrying on his will to be the savior of humanity, to save humanity from the Ignis. And Revolver basically tells Wendy, you have no idea what kind of bond I have with my father and how strong it is. And Wendy says, I don't care about your bond because I'm going to destroy you. And that's when Wendy takes his turn. He plays a spell card called Storm Rider Return, brings back Rockbuster, and then much to the amazement of Revolver, uses Storm Access during a Master Duel. And for the most part, Revolver has the same reaction Playmaker did when Bowman did this. And it's at this moment that things are clicking for both I and Playmaker. They come to the realization, wait, Wendy is doing the same thing Bowman did. Did they team up? And Wendy uses Storm Access. He gets this monster. It's called Link 3 Storm Rider Backmutt Bomber, and he summons it. And Playmaker is demanding to know what happened to Jin. He's demanding to know what Wendy knows, and he's demanding to know if Wendy had teamed up with Bowman. And basically Wendy tells him tells Playmaker, I'll tell you at the end of the duel, so just behave for now, human. And then Wendy brings out Storm Rider Skyfish by a special summon and uses the effects to destroy Revolver's life points. They knock Revolver's life points back down. Revolver is now back in a corner. He's only got 100 life points left at this point. And it's at that time the three Knights of Hanoi walk in, Byra, Faust, and Gnome. And they make the realization to Wendy that they have blown away his echoes. His defense program has been shattered. The Knights of Hanoi crushed it. This infuriates Wendy as Gnome gets in his DNA joke. You know, he always has to get that in because he tells Revolver that a creature with no DNA serve no threat to us. So yeah, even Gnome gets a little love there with his DNA joke. So it's at that point, while Byra, Faust, and Gnome go in to where Revolver is, Spectre is still waiting outside, where they've cleared away all these Echo programs, and Spectre is awaiting Soulburner and Flame. And they arrive, they're curious about what goes on, but then they see Spectre, and even Kusanagi sees him thanks to the video program. And Kusanagi even makes the comment of, wait a minute, that's Spectre. And Soulburner gets very defensive, and he's like, are you going to fight me? And Spectre says, nope. I'm not here to fight you, not now. He says, just follow me. I was just clearing the trash for our entrance. And he basically tells Soulburner, come with me, and your opinion about Flame, your opinion about the Ignis will change. And if it doesn't, well, I'll delete you. So Soulburner doesn't know what to make of this, but he's wanting to find Eye and Playmaker, so he trusts Spectre and follows Spectre inside, back to where Revolver and everybody is. So while this is going on, we're back at the duel. Revolver is backed into a corner, and Revolver has to reset Magic Cylinder, and Wendy uses his monster's effect to destroy it, and this basically knocks Revolver down to just his last 100 life points. Revolver is down to nothing at this point, and it's then that the Soulburner and Flame and Spectre arrive. They arrive in this room. They see Revolver is dueling Wendy and that Eye and Playmaker are trapped. Now, at first, Soulburner comes to the logical conclusion, did the Knights of Hanoi do this? And Playmaker says, no, it was Lightning and Wendy. And at first they're like, lightning, and they look over and they see the light Ignis there. And so Flame is there. He's not sure what to think at this point because remember, he thinks Flame is their ally, or he thinks Wendy's their ally. But when Wendy and Lightning try to capture Spectre, Soulburner, and Flame like they did to Eye and Playmaker, Flame uses the program that Kusanagi developed to temporarily halt the Ignis and uses it to actually free Playmaker and Eye. So they're now free as we watch Revolver make the final move of the duel. Revolver revives Anesthesia Dragon, and now summons from his hand Rocket Synchro. I'm sorry, everybody. This is just where the most epic part of the episode comes in, so I'm a little bit stuttery about it just because I'm still in awe of how awesome this was. So Rocket Synchro is on the field, and it uses its effect to revive Speed Burst Dragon, and Revolver performs the Synchro Summon. He manages to Synchro Summon level 8 Borreload Savage Dragon. So before I go on to that, I just want to say that this Synchro Summon animation for Vrains is probably the most insane, awesome Synchro Summoning animation we've had ever. It far surpasses what we got in Arc 5. I think it even surpasses what we saw in 5Ds. I know Yu-Gi-Oh fans are going to hate me for saying that, but this animation was just epic. So Borreload Savage Dragon appears on the field, and we learn that its ability is it will equip Borreload Dragon that was destroyed. And for every one of its link markers, it gains a Borreload counter. So now it's got Borreload counter of 4 because Borreload Dragon was a Link 4 monster. And Wendy's like, this is no big deal. I'm just going to destroy Borreload Dragon and win the duel because it's going to knock out 500 life points. Revolver's only got 100 left. He wins the duel. Well, when he does this, however, Revolver uses one of the Borreload counters, and what this does is it negates that activation, that effect activation. So he does this, and Borreload Dragon actually raises up Savage Dragon's attack by 1,500, 4,500 attack points. Revolver goes in, destroys Wendy. Wendy's lost the duel. He's down to he's down to nothing. He's on the ground. He's saying, lightning. And Revolver is at this point saying, eliminate him, delete him. And the Knights of Hanoi throw this program at Wendy, and when it hits Wendy, he starts to disintegrate. Wendy's being deleted at this point. And we actually hear I warn Lightning that Wendy's about to be destroyed, and Lightning goes and saves what's left of Wendy before he's totally destroyed. And it's at this moment Revolver's like, see, I told you, you just saved your comrade. You're no different than any of the other Ignises. And I doesn't know what to think about this, because even Playmaker looks at him and is like, what did you do? And that's when I basically tells himself he knew that Revolver was going to delete him, but he didn't think he'd do it so soon. So it makes you kind of wonder what side of the fence I is on at this point. But anyway, so Wendy has been saved, spared, just a little bit, because the Knights of Hanoi came real close to destroying him. And that's when Playmaker yells out to Lightning. He says, tell me what you know about Bowman. What do you know about Jin? Where is Kusangi's brother? And that's when Lightning says, well, first, before Lightning says anything, Bowman and Haru appear. And so it's at this point, Playmaker's like, Bowman and Haru work for Lightning. And then he reiterates once again, what did you do with Jin? And that's when Lightning says, Jin has been in front of you the whole time, and his avatar, the thing that's been holding him, his artificial program, starts to fade, the light around him, and it reveals Jin in Vrains. And Jin is dressed just like Haru and Bowman. And it's basically at this point, Lightning says, this was a declaration of war, that humans will be destroyed. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. But, I mean, on that kind of ending, you can't really blame them. Like I said, so much going on in this episode. All the factions have really been revealed at this point. We have Lightning and Wendy that want to destroy everything. We have Flame and I at this point who are on the side of we want coexistence. Well, maybe I at this point. I don't know what this... We have the Knights of Hanoi that just want to destroy the Ignis. They don't want coexistence. They want the Ignis eliminated. And then we've got these other factions too. So this is going to be crazy complicated, and actually shows us a little bit into next week with the preview, where we learn that next week's episode is called Declaration of War. And we see this whole thing just explode. We've got so many factions. We've got the Knights of Hanoi on one hand, Flame and Soulburner, I and Playmaker on the other. We have Solid Technologies, and of course we have Lightning and Wendy. So all crud is going to hit the fan. Everything's going to just go all out next week's episode. Really can't wait for it. This episode just left me with nothing more to say. This was an incredible episode. I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. This is probably the closest that Vrains is going to get to a perfect episode so far. This episode, there was just so much going on. I cannot stress this enough. This is a much-watch episode, and this is definitely a plot episode everybody needs to check out. So with all that being said, in the comments section down below, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What were your thoughts on Revolver's comeback? What are your thoughts on Wendy killing or maiming his human partner, either causing a horrible accident or a demise? What are your thoughts on I? Do you think he's a traitor? Where do you think Aqua and Earth lie in this? Just let me know what your guys' thoughts are about all this in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. All right, everyone. As always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.